Welcome to this episode on personal finance of budgeting. In this episode, we'll talk about why do we need budget, to whom it is beneficial, and as a first step towards achieving the financial freedom, budgeting is the bare minimum. Stick on to the end of the episode where we'll discuss about what are the different categories that we need to take care while doing the budgeting. Budgeting is at most a simple yet powerful tool that can give an insight where every rupee is going into. As soon as you get your salary, you have to have a record where does your money go into next. If not now, then even if we earn in millions, we'll never have the financial freedom that we aim for. Everyone who earns the amount or a salary or any kind of income has to have a budgeting in place. It can be a rough budget or it can be even tracked to till a micro component. Budgeting should also include your EMIs, your monthly expenditure, so that when you have your emergency fund in place, all these things can be taken care. Many argue that your budget should not include an EMI component, but that's not true. The budgeting will give an overview picture on how much amount that you need to save in case of an emergency. Every person who's earning a salary needs to budget for their monthly expenditure. It can be for your utilities, for the fuel, or even it can be for paying EMIs. Why do I say we have to budget even the EMIs into your spreadsheet? Yes. When you are setting aside for the purpose of emergency fund, let's say for about 6 months or an year, you need to consider a different approaches where your money was going in when you were earning the salary. For example, let's take a scenario where, let's say a person, Ravi, is preparing to set aside an emergency fund for 6 months. His monthly expenditure for utilities, fuel and other activities is 30,000, and he's also paying an monthly EMI for his house about 25,000. So combined, these two component alone is 55,000. So when we do the math, when he has to prepare an emergency fund for 6 months foreseen circumstances such as job loss that happened during the crisis of corona pandemic, so he has to set aside a monthly 55,000 for about 6 months, which is about 3,30,000. So this amount has to be in his and secondary account, and he should have a discipline not to touch this amount. So we'll all talk about this emergency fund in coming episodes. For now, let's stick to the concept of budget. Budgeting is a simple exercise that you spend about 10 minutes a week or for 30 minutes a fortnight. If you ask me personally, I would rather spend 10 minutes weekly into 4 times, that is about for 4 weeks in a month, so that I'll be in a line that my budget is not exceeded beyond my means, and I also know where my rupee is going in. The simple activity of budgeting has a far-fetched result when you are considering your long-term goal. It can be also for your retirement plan, that you need to have your monthly budget into number of months that can be taken as your average yearly expenditure when you plan for your retirement. So again, we all come back to the point of retirement planning and how much money you need for your retirement, with the inflation of course added as another component in our next episodes to come. You can ask me, what does the budget or my monthly personal budget consist of? There are multiple categories based on each and everyone's needs. In general, the categories are utility, where you pay your monthly fixed component of your internet bill, mobile bill, water bill, electricity. So these consist of your utilities, and it can vary from person to person. If one is living in an apartment, you have your monthly maintenance. If not, there is no monthly maintenance added for their home repair. The other category is fuel, wherein you allocate some budget X amount for your fuels, depending on whether it's two-wheeler, four-wheeler, or even an electric car or electric scooter in our country, which is very popular. Then the service cost. Why am I including service cost in the monthly bill? Let's say you are giving your scooter or the car for an yearly maintenance or yearly service, which is roughly about, let's say, 10,000 an yearly. So that amount you can divide up into monthly component and allocate some budget. So similarly, there is a insurance component as well. If you are paying for your insurance, let's say about 10 or 15,000 yearly, again that amount can be divided into your monthly component and added to your budget. Occasionally you can also have an category for a vacation or to do some kind of fun activity. For me, I would like to see where each and every rupee of my salary is going into. So that's where my budget will consist of. To make this activity a easy approach, what I'll do, I will prepare an Excel template that you can download straight away from the website buytherupee.com. I'll link the file in the blog post where you can directly download, add in your number for the corresponding month and start tracking. For the future month, let's say in June or July, based on the historical data of what your experience on the particular component, such as it can be for a service or for an internet, you can start adding and slowly stick on to this budget and make sure you do not overrun the component allocated. Make sure you do not overrun the amount allocated for each category. Let's say I have allocated the amount of 500 rupees for my monthly bill for mobile. So my usage of the mobile has to be within the 500. Give or take, it can be couple of bucks here and there, but largely try to maintain your lifestyle within the fixed amount. In initial days of the budgeting, it can be little complex to stick to this particular boundary, but as we progress ahead for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, this becomes an habit that it is little difficult to come out of it. Any person who is approaching towards the financial freedom, the first basic step is to estimate his expenditure. Saying that, budgeting is one of the simplest and easiest activity that one can endure so that he is on his path to the financial freedom. We'll discuss advantages why the budgeting unfolds in the future episodes. Until then, everyone have a safe evening, a great evening, and happy budgeting.